What if I told you that one of the greatest victories from battle in history was won with trumpets, torches, and jars? Sounds incredible, right? Let's journey into the biblical powerful story of Gideon. In Judges chapter 6, Israel was under heavy oppression by the Midianites. The invaders would destroy their crops, steal their livestock, and leave the Israelites in utter poverty. God's people were living in fear, hiding in caves, praying for deliverance, and then, in the middle of this chaos, God heard their prayers. Suddenly, an angel of the Lord appears to Gideon, a man threshing wheat in secret, trying to survive, with a message that would change everything. The angel spoke to Gideon about the message of deliverance. Mighty warrior? Gideon didn't feel mighty. In fact, his response was with fear and doubt. How can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest, and I am the least in my family. But God wasn't looking for credentials, he was looking for obedience. He asks for signs, fleeces wet with dew, the ground dry, and God patiently confirms his call. Despite his fears, Gideon says yes in obedience to God. But even then, God takes him through a journey of faith. Gideon initially gathered 32,000 men to fight against the Midianites. But here's the twist. God tells Gideon to reduce his army. The reason? If Israel won with such a large force, they might believe they succeeded by their own strength rather than through divine intervention and God's power. So God instructed Gideon to reduce the number of soldiers in 2 stages. The fear test was the first. Gideon announced that anyone who was afraid could leave. 22,000 men departed, leaving only 10,000 remaining. The second was the water test. God told Gideon to take the men to a water source and observe how they drank. Those who lapped the water like a dog were separated from those who knelt to drink. Only 300 men lapped the water, and God chose them as Gideon's final army. Interpretations suggest that the way the soldiers drank symbolized their battle readiness. Those who lapped the water might have been more vigilant, disciplined, and prepared for combat. With nothing but trumpets, torches, and jars, Gideon and his 300 surround the Midianite camp at night. At a signal, they blew the trumpets, broke the jars, and shouted. In utter confusion, the Midianites turn on each other in war, leading to their defeat. Gideon saw himself as weak and insignificant, but God called him a mighty warrior. God sees beyond our doubts and insecurities. Gideon's story is a reminder that your insecurities do not disqualify you from being used by God. God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. He uses the weak to shame the strong, the uncertain to lead the bold. So what about you? Are you hiding in fear, feeling unworthy, or doubting your purpose? Like Gideon, you might be the answer to a battle only God can win through you. Remember, before leading Israel, Gideon had to tear down the altar of Baal in his own home. This means that before we can move forward spiritually, we must remove anything that stands between us and God. When God is with you, all he needs is your yes. If this encouraged you, don't scroll away. Share with someone who needs courage. God bless you.